Well, howdy there. You clicked on a fun video here. We're getting into 7 stocks to buy now that are down 60% or more. All 7 of these stocks, I believe, have ridiculous upside over the next 2 years to 3 years. And essentially, if you come back to this video in a couple of years from now, I bet money, and I am betting money on a lot of these stocks, that they're going to be 2x, 3x, maybe even 4x, whatever we're talking about here today in this video. And if you didn't know, we've been in a very, very nasty market here recently, which makes a video like this very easy. Usually it's hard for me to find any good stocks that are down 50%, 60%, 70%. But I can tell you right now in this market we've been in recently, I know of a lot of stocks that are down significantly and I think are great long-term buys for long-term investors. And keep in mind, some of these could end up doing very, very well in the short term as well. But I'm more of a longer-term investor. I'm usually thinking several years out. And if any of these stocks fall in any meaningful way from here, I think it's just a huge buy the dip opportunity, okay? So yeah, I hope you enjoyed today's video. As always, make sure to subscribe to this YouTube channel if you're not already. All we do is talk stocks all the time, the market in general, what's going on. And also, if you want some free stocks from Moomoo, the professional trading platform, check out the pinned comment down there. Right now, they're running a special where for signing up and depositing some money, you can get up to 5 free stocks valued up to $3,500 each. So pretty cool. So essentially, the month of January just finished out here, right? This was an awful month. We barely missed the worst January ever, which is something pretty crazy to keep in mind here. NASDAQ posts worst January since 2008. S&P 500 Dow see the worst month since March of 2020, which is when in the Rona crash, right? Well, that's nothing short of extraordinary. U.S. stocks closed higher on Monday at the end of a volatile month for Wall Street. But I mean, it was the worst start to the year for the S&P 500 and the NASDAQ since 2009. That's nothing short of extraordinary. Look at this, okay? This is basically an article I pulled up here from 2009. The Russell 2000 was down 11.3%. And as far as this one, Russell down 9.6%. So we just went through one of the worst Januaries ever in stock market history. And that's created a ton of great opportunities in the stock market, essentially, that I look at a lot of these stocks as steal deals. Let's just put it that money. It's kind of like stealing money, essentially, a lot of these stocks over the coming years. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this, as always, for the first stock of these 7 stocks. This one's down 60% over the past 1 year. It has a great long-term future in front of it. It's a $20 to $30 billion market cap, which in this video, I wanted to pick a lot of different stocks that are at different market cap ranges, some really large companies, some smaller companies, some in-between companies. This one's on the larger end. What is that stock? This first one, it is Palantir Technologies, PLTR. It's a $13 stock here today. Market cap $27 billion for this company. 52-week range has been anywhere from all the way down to $11.75 all the way up to about $40 in the past 52 weeks. As far as analysts, they have a one-year price target on the stock of $21 for this one. So obviously, analysts are pretty bullish on this one. When it comes to Palantir, they're basically at the cross sections of data and artificial intelligence. And if you run a large corporation, Palantir is a company that can help you expand your company by using data and making the best business decisions possible. They're also massive in the government sector. They're pretty early days still actually in the corporate space. I mean, they're much bigger in the government sector than they are in the corporate space right now, which there's so much opportunities for this company with large corporations. Think Fortune 500 companies. Think a lot of the companies that are in the S&P 500. Also think about mid-sized businesses, and maybe even longer term, they get some products that are more for the small corporations and they break apart some of their products more often, which is definitely certainly a possibility. When I look at Palantir, I look at a company that is going to be a very, very sticky business model overall. That's going to be one of those that if you're a company and you start using Palantir, there's a high probability you're going to use them year after year after year for 5, 10, 15, 20 years into the future, essentially. So this one's setting up in a real good space that they call data the new oil, essentially, right? So when it comes to Palantir, first off, this is a cult stock. This is very much a cult stock. And that's actually really, really good for this company for the long term, because what Palantir is building into is essentially a shareholder base, right? That's really focused on the long-term growth of Palantir. So this isn't a shareholder base that's going to get too hyped on like short-term moves with this stock. There are a lot of stocks in the market that if they move up 10, 20% or something like that, the shareholders are running for the exits. They want to take some short-term profits. The way I look at Palantir, that's not going to be this type of stock. Most people are in Palantir because they believe this is a 5x to 10x type stock over the next decade. And so they're not going to run out with a 10% gain or something like that. And so that's the strong part. And you've got a lot of folks that are willing to educate folks on the stock, which I think is really, really important. It's built into a cult stock now. The main negative Palantir has, and the only main negative this company really has at this point in time, is really around bad press they've received over the past year or two, and they could receive more bad press over the coming years as the company gets bigger. Outside of that, there's not really a lot you can say. The competitive landscape's shaping up really, really nice for them. And like I said, the business model is going to be a very, very sticky business model. This company is expected to be profitable in 22. The main question for this company is how profitable will they be in 22? But the company is expected to be profitable. 10 analysts cover the stock. On average, they expect the company to be profitable, positive EPS in 22. That's big, okay? And then you look at the revenue growth. As far as what, Karp has said, the CEO of this company, the one that really runs this ship, he says that this company will be able to grow at 30% plus per year, which is huge. And they're expected to grow 30% in 22. So I look at Palantir as an extraordinary opportunity. This is one of those that's a pretty easy buy here. And if it goes down in any meaningful way over the coming months or quarters or whatever, it's just kind of an easy buy the dip type opportunity for stock out there. So yeah, I look at Palantir as a great opportunity. I really like that one, okay? Stock number 207, down 60% over the past year. Great long-term future in this one. It's in the $1 to $2 billion range. I think if you follow me, you expected this stock to be on the list, okay? And this one is the chef, okay? TTCF. This is a pretty easy one for me to put on here. This stock has been, as high as $25 in the past year, over $25, and as low as $10 recently. It's a $1 billion market cap, so on the smaller side, analysts have a price target, 1 year price target on this one of $21. When it comes to Chef, huge plant-based food company, which is a massive growing sector. And in that space, they are growing off the charts, essentially. Like it's absolutely extraordinary what they've been doing. I always say if you're ever interested in Tattoo Chef in terms of looking in the company, the first thing to do before you look at financials, before you look at revenue growth, before you look at anything, go to your local Target. Go to your local Target, and this was a company that a year or two ago, was basically almost non-existent in Target and maybe had a few items. And now you see SKUs all over the place in the frozen food section for a Tattoo Chef in Target stores, and they have a whole lot more coming, and now you're starting to see them show up in almost every big grocery store that's anybody. This is the fastest moving food company I've ever seen in the history of being in the stock market. I've never seen a company moving at this rapid of a clip. They have nutritional bars and all those sorts of things coming in 22, snack products. They have a bunch of new frozen food category products coming this year and refrigerated goods. I've never seen a company moving this fast that's a food company ever in my life, okay? It's crazy. That's all I'm going to say about that, okay? And the shareholder base of this one is starting to build into more of a cult-like following, not quite to the level of like a Palantir or a Tesla. Those are kind of on a different level. This is like that next tier down of kind of building a cult-like following. This one, as they get more popular and they start to show up in more and more stores, and more folks understand what's going on with the plant-based food movement, it'll build into a stronger and stronger cult-like following behind this one over time, okay? Now, when it comes to this company, they're expected to lose money on the bottom line. A lot of it will go back to how much do they want to spend on marketing. And remember, they got a lot of new SKUs launching in 22 for this company. So when you have a lot of new SKUs and a lot of new product categories, you got to spend a lot of marketing. They should likely lose money in 22. That's the, I guess you should say, bad thing. But this is a high-growth company. So analysts have them. There's only 3 analysts that cover this company on the revenue side. They're expected to have 32% revenue growth, a little over 32% revenue growth in 2022. I think that number's low. I think they're going to come in with 300, if not over 300 mil of revenue essentially for this company in 22. And so I look at the Tattoo Chef as just an extraordinary long-term opportunity. And if you're looking for a food company that just has ridiculous upside over the next 5-10 years and probably even over the next couple of years, this is that sort of opportunity. And this is one that anytime it goes down, I'm essentially a buyer of this stock. And I'm really, really excited. They're priced in terms of just bad news, they had to postpone their last earnings call last quarter. So this one's been in the bad cycle of small cap stocks, and they hurt themselves with the essentially postponed the last quarter of the conference call. Now you got so much bad news priced in this stock that if they just come out with decent news, this baby's ready to soar. And high short interest on this one, and that's why this is one of those that might not just be a great stock long term, but could end up actually forming into a pretty good stock in the short term as well. So the Chef, I absolutely love this one. On any weakness, I'm always a buyer of this one, and the amount of shares I own in the Chef now, I think it might be like 85,000 shares or something like that. Like it's a rather large number, and it's a possibility I could take this one over 100,000 shares. Okay, so the Chef, that's the next one there, okay? Number 3 is 7 stock, down 60% over the past year or so. Great long-term future in this one. It's a $1.5 to $2 billion range company. This company's a profit beast. So the first two we kind of looked at, not super profitable companies. Palantir was profitable, but not like a big profit company. Tattoo Chef is technically a money loser on the bottom line. This one, they're a profit beast. They're a low P company. And they actually are a growth company, okay? What is that stock, you wonder? Well, it is Corsair Gaming, CRSR. This stock's been trading all the way down to $17 recently, and it's traded as high as almost $50 in the past 52 weeks. This one's a $1.8 billion market cap as of recording this video. 16 P ratio, which is under the market. Analysts have the 1-year price target on the stock of $30.67, and there's quite a few analysts that cover this stock. Corsair is huge in the gaming space. If you are at all into gaming, right? You know a Corsair. They're massive with their keyboards and their mice and all those sorts of things that you need for gaming their PCs. They own a lot of different brands, including Elgato brand, which is, I have essentially lights back here that are hitting off my face. Those are Elgato lights that I can control with my phone, exactly how bright I want them to be, the color I want them to be, all those sorts of things. They sell cameras, the microphones, they're extraordinary. Their Elgato brand is extraordinary how much growth is going on there. And so Corsair Gaming is just in a great space. They also own a controller brand that's one of the most popular in the world for making custom controllers for PlayStation and Xbox. Yeah, a lot to be excited about this one over the next 5-10 years. Now, when it comes to Corsair Gaming, the good news is expectations for the next couple quarters are low, and I mean low. Analysts have them basically having revenue go down 11% in the current quarter and down about another 11% roughly next quarter as well. So very low expectations for this company. As far as the 22 in general, $1.54 of EPS expected, which is a very strong number, would be growth year over year. And as far as the company in general, not much is expected. 5% revenue growth for this company expected from the 9 analysts that cover the stock in 2022. So if you're looking at a stock that owns some great brands that have a ton of upside over the coming years and is a profit beast and is at a very low PE, that is that sort of stock. And so Corsair Gaming is one I like. I don't think it has the most upside of some stocks out there in the market that are beaten down, but I do look at this one as kind of like, an easier money stock over the next 3 to 5 years. And this is one, actually literally today as of recording this, I bought some long-term call options in this one that expire in January 2024. Just in case there's any short-term weakness in this one, I want to, have some time to have things kind of play out here. So Corsair Gaming, love that one. Huge long-term opportunity with Corsair Gaming. The fourth of these 7 stocks down 60% or more in the past year. This one's down a lot more than 60%. Basically, this one's trading in the $3.5 billion to $4 billion range right now. For this particular stock, 22 is their year. And if I think about a stock that's going to have massive momentum going around their stock in this year, 22, this is that sort of stock. And I think a lot of these stocks we're going over are going to have a lot of momentum come into them throughout 22. But I think this one takes the cake in terms of just the short-term opportunity. If I look at a stock that I'm like, man, this one could end up going up a lot just in 22 alone, I think this one has some pretty crazy potential, not just long-term, but short-term as well. And that one is Beyond Meat, BYND. $65 here today, a little over a $4 billion market cap. This one's been as low recently as $53 and as high as $183 a share. 1-year price target is 71 for the stock. Analysts are ultra bearish on the stock, right? So essentially, when you have analysts that are ultra bearish on the stock and this is a max shorted stock, meaning essentially shorts have piled into this one. The crazy thing about Beyond Meat I want to explain in just a moment. They're going to go into a massive momentum cycle, in my opinion. And when you got shorts max shorted on the stock, and you got analysts that are basically ultra bearish on the stock and not expecting anything, you could go into a super cycle for a stock where the stock doubles up or triples up in a matter of a 6 to 12 month span, essentially. And I think that's exactly what could play out here with Beyond Meat. Long-term big opportunity for Beyond Meat, but if I'm thinking about even a short-term opportunity, oh my gosh. And look at the price action today. That's why you see all of a sudden like a 15% move in a day. No, earth-shaking news came out in regards to Beyond Meat today, and the stock moves up 15%. When you got a stock that has crazy momentum that's about to come into it, ultra bearish analysts, and a crazy big short position, you could get some epic squeezes like you haven't seen in many stocks, especially for a company that's a few $billion essentially, right? So when it comes to Beyond Meat, right? This one's a money loser in 22. Everybody knows that. Everybody's expecting them to lose money. It's not going to be like, oh, they're going to all of a sudden flip to positive EPS. Everybody knows that, okay? But when it comes to Beyond Meat, this is a stock that is set up for easy comps. They didn't do very well with the business model in 21. So they set themselves up where 22 comps are going to be easy, and they're going to have a reacceleration of growth likely in 22. Now, when I almost every single time I've ever seen a company have a reacceleration of growth, meaning you go from 14% to 37%, because that's not natural. Usually what happens is a company's growing, let's say 30%, and then they go down to growing 20%, 14%. That's normal. It is not normal for your company to go from 14% to 37%. So that's a freak scenario. And almost every single time I've ever seen a company reaccelerate their growth, their stock price gets, I don't want to call it stupid momentum behind it, but crazy momentum behind it. And the share price goes up, boom, 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 boom. And they have McDonald's and KFC deals essentially that have happened here recently, which they're going to get a ton of publicity. Like it doesn't get bigger than McDonald's and KFC deals. And from what we're hearing, the sell-through at McDonald's is epic, right? But at the end of the day, when it comes to these McDonald's and KFC deals, it's not just about the revenue they generate from the McDonald's and KFC deals. It's all that branding on, these restaurants that everybody goes to essentially, right? Or if we want to call them restaurants, fast food places that everybody goes to. So the amount of marketing a company like Beyond Meat gets, this is something that puts it top of mind with consumers and will help their grocery store business as well. And so this is something, and when you're doing a deal with McDonald's, every other fast food company in the world is going to look at you and be like, wow, you got deals with Yum Brands, you got deals with McDonald's. It doesn't get bigger than that. We should consider you as well. So this puts Beyond Meat in what I believe is going to be a momentum cycle. And I think Beyond Meat's a really exciting stock for the long term. But also, honestly, I think 22 is their year that, it's going to be a pretty crazy year. That's all I'll say about that one, okay? Number 5 of these 7 stocks. This one's down 60% plus, and actually much more than 60%. Great long-term future with this company. You're in the $400 to $600 million range. This is an expansion beast company, expansion beast. And if you're looking for a let's call it a cheap stock, right? A lower dollar stock, this one might be that. It's the Planet, yes, Planet 13, good old Planet 13. 14% move here to date, by the way. Wow. That's another one of those that if you get a little bit of momentum coming in this one, the moves are epic. Keep in mind, this stock's been devastated. It's as recently it hit 235, and a 52-week high in the stock's $8 plus. It's a little under a $600 million market cap for this one right now. The 1-year price target on this one's $8.41 from analysts. That's epic. I'm not counting on this stock going to $8.41 over the next 1 year. However, I can't say it's not a possibility when I think about what this company has going forward in 22 and beyond in future years. It's pretty darn extraordinary. By the way, make sure you subscribe to this channel. You got notifications on if you haven't already. All right. When it comes to the Planet, and if you don't mind, smash as well. Okay. When it comes to Planet, they're expected to be profitable in 22 and pretty nicely profitable, and that's big for this company. But not just that. Look at the revenue growth expected for this company. So if you didn't know, the Planet, they build superstores for the cannabis space, essentially. Okay, I mean superstores, and essentially not just that, but they have owned brands that have huge long-term opportunities in front of themselves. And so it's a 54% expected revenue growth story in 22, and also profitability. And this company is one of those companies that's going to continue to grow at a double-digit clip, in my opinion, for this entire decade we're at, meaning all the way till 2030 plus. They're going to grow 10% plus per year after year after year after year between their stores and their own brand. That's going to be epic. And the margins this business will command are going to be crazy, especially when it comes to their owned brands. And think about this. Federal legalization is going to be just the kind of the cherry on top in this situation. And the companies already position themselves with a lot of changes they're starting to make with the SEC and whatnot. So whenever federal legalization does come, which that's a whole guessing game, right? But whenever federal legalization, the way they're setting up the company now, they should be able to essentially uplist onto the NASDAQ and other major exchanges as soon as essentially things are federally legalized here, which is great news for a company like The Planet. So this one, oh my gosh, ridiculous long-term opportunity. The companies, of the stocks I personally own, this might be, it's hard for me to say, but this one might be the most well-run of all of them. It's incredible. Like the management team has done nothing but, impress me, okay? Stock number 6 of 7, down 60% or more. Great long-term future. This one's in the $50 to $60 billion range. I told you guys I'm going to cover a lot of different ones. We've seen, that last one's in the $400 to $600 million range. And then this one, we're getting into a $50 to $60 billion range. We're covering everything in this one, okay? Very low expectations for this company in 22 from analysts. Very low expectations. What is this company? It is Square stock, which is now called Block, SQ. So this stock hit a 52-week high of almost 300. It recently has been trading as low as $101. Here today, 122. Market cap on this one about $56 billion. 1 year price target from analysts is over a double up from here. They have a $248 1 year price target on the stock. So obviously analysts are very, very bullish on this one, but the funny thing is they're very, very bullish on the stock price over the next year, but they don't have crazy estimates for this company. The expectations are super low for this one. When it comes to Block, profitability is expected to increase, but not at a rapid clip from $1.68 to $1.79. That's not a big number, not like the jump they saw in 21 from 84 cents to $1.68, right? And by the way, Square, they own Cash App. So not only do they have their traditional business that's big in the business space, right? But they also own Cash App, which is usually the number one most popular financial related app in the entire United States of America, and it's big in other markets as well. And so look at this. Analysts have them only growing revenue 5% in 22. So the expectations are extremely low for this one, and they're setting themselves up into a situation where I don't think it's going to be crazy for them to put up some very respectable numbers in 22. And there's 36 analysts that cover the stock, and if they start beating numbers, all these analysts are going to start coming with upgrades left and right. So I look at Square as a big long-term opportunity. When you own the number one most popular financial-related app in the entire United States of America, your long-term opportunity is extraordinary. And they're focusing really big time on the blockchain, doing stuff with crypto, and kind of building out that space, which there's not a lot of big companies that are really, really focused on blockchain and crypto. And Jack Dorsey, who leads this company, he's really, really focused on that. So, long-term story is going to get a lot of people really exciting. The stock's been devastated recently because no one's wanted a piece of anything that is a crypto related or riskier related, right? Or bigger growth companies. And that usually fits Square's category. So there's kind of been a flood out of the stock. I think that stock's a big long-term opportunity when it comes to Square, okay? Last one here. Hope you guys enjoyed this video so far. This stock number 7 of 7, down 60% or more, actually much more than 60% over the past year. Great long-term future in this one. It's a $500 to $700 million range on this one. Taking market share, and this is one of the, other than Tattooed Chef, this is a stock I've been adding the most aggressive over the past 2 months. I've been adding this one extremely aggressively the past 2 months. I don't think this stock's going to hang in these ranges very long, let's put it that way. And they're taking market share from big competitors left and right. They talked about that in the last conference call, and that one is HNST, Honest Company. Honest Company. It's honestly a great value. Under a $600 million market cap for this one. The stock price has been devastated, trading at $5.54 recently. The 52-week high on the stock's been almost $24. They went public at the worst time possible. They went public at a time when everybody was starting to flood out of anything SPAC related, IPO related. And they've never been able to build up their long-term shareholder base. I look at 22 as that first year where they can actually build a long-term shareholder base, tell their vision for the company, and obviously report numbers and get people to get excited about this company over the long term and build that long-term shareholder base. Analysts are very bullish on the stock. They have a $12.57 1-year price target, which is essentially a double up from here of where the stock is. Like I said, other than the chef, this is the one I've been adding the most aggressively the last 2 months. I think the long-term opportunity here for this company is ridiculous, okay? So first off, they're expected to increase profitability in a massive way, which, by the way, if you've never heard of Honest, they sell their diapers and wipes is a big business for them. And soaps, shampoos, those sorts of things, big business for them. Also, makeup and beauty products, big business for them that's expanding quite rapidly for them, and that's a high margin business. So their business, the margin should go up over the coming years, and they should see revenue expansion over the coming years and flip to profitability, which are the three holy grails of basically being a stock, which is why I think the stock's going to $20 to $30 range easily over the next few years, and why I'm investing so heavily in it right now, okay? But yeah, as far as this upcoming year, expect to only lose 12 cents. I know some people that expect them to be actually profitable in 22. I'm not going to go as far to say that, but nonetheless, the trends are all in the right way. 13% revenue growth expected for this company in 22, which is strong double-digit growth, and you're not going to find that type of growth in this type of space, which puts them kind of in an extraordinary place. And I look at this one as kind of, I see it as a safety stock and an extraordinary opportunity for the coming years. And this is one of those, if I see any more weakness in this one, I'll continue to buy. Even if it starts to go up, I'm going to likely continue to buy this one and even look at Jan 2024 calls in this one. So yeah, those are the 7 stocks here, guys. Hope you enjoyed this video. As always, if you're looking to understand exactly how to look into stocks, how to read financial statements, everything like that, I have an entire program dedicated toward that. Even be part of the private Discord chat with me and the other 6-figure, 7-figure, 8-figure investors. Basically, check out pinned comment for that. I'll also have the Moomoo link if you're looking for some free stocks and to check out Moomoo. I'll have that linked as the pinned comment as well. Much love. Hope you enjoyed this and have a great day.